focus is that a military industrial technological complex can be built in India, can be nurtured in India, and then India and France together not only manufacture military aircraft and civilian aircraft and components, but also then export them together. So this is a multifaceted relationship over the next 3 days. There's lots of conversation. If we were to talk about specifics, small and medium modular nuclear reactors, there's talk of nuclear energy, clean energy cooperation. There's a lot of movement that you notice on the road where we are and on the adjoining road, because the movement also means, indicates that now the cooperation is from the federal government there and here, through states cooperation to startup cooperation to innovation. 2026 has been declared as the year of innovation. And the Prime Minister, when he'd gone for Bastille Day in France, the conversation had been when students at academies and universities sit together and innovate together, manufacture together.
Right.
From the drawing board to the finished product, that is real technological cooperation. That's very important.
Absolutely.
And if I may, what is also significant is from the 1950s, when Tufanis were procured from, France, to the time that Rafales are now coming in additional numbers, this cooperation is only growing from strength to strength.
Right, absolutely, Gaurav. Thank you, Gaurav. Thank you, Pranay, for those details. And we'll be keeping an eye on that meeting and bringing you more details. It's time for a short break now. As we dip into a short break, we bring you more details and more news updates on the other side.
You are watching India Today.
Right here, right now, हर कोई कुछ नया करना चाहता है. कोई घूमना, कोई सीखना, तो कोई नई मंजिल ढूंढना. बिंदास रिटायरमेंट को प्रोटेक्ट करने के लिए बड़ा सोचो. Retirement Solutions by Generali Central Life Insurance. आपका lifetime partner.
Dadu, do you want to upgrade to business class?
Why not? Great flying, Captain.
Get an assured buyback value of up to 60%. Drive India's #1 EV, MG Windsor. Live business class.
50 years of India today. A timeless chronicle of 5 decades of India's rise. The moments that shaped a nation. The decisions that changed its course. The stories that defined its future. Now captured in a premium hardbound collector's volume. A book that documents India's journey of last 50 years. For those who witnessed it and for those who seek to understand it. India Today 50th Anniversary Special Collector's Edition book. Order your copy now. Log on to subscriptions.intoday.in. 50 years Anniversary Edition. India's AI moment is here. Global AI leaders. India's top decision makers. Turning ideas into action. One stage, one defining conversation. Be part of the conversation shaping India's AI future. India Today AI Summit 2026. February 18th, all day long.
अरे यार EMI, किराया, दवाई कैसे मैनेज करूं?
एक जुगाड़ है, अच्छा पैसा मिलेगा.
क्या?
अपना बैंक डिटेल्स दो, कुछ लोग पैसे भेजेंगे, फिर उनके बताए अकाउंट में ट्रांसफर कर दो. कमीशन तेरा.
इतना इजी?
अरे काहे का इजी? ये मनी म्यूल है. इलीगल पैसा घुमाते हैं दूसरे के अकाउंट से. ये अपराध है.
अपराध?
जेल के बर्तन धोने पड़ जाएंगे.
ना भाई ना, जेल नहीं जाना है.
RBI कहता है
जानकार बनिए, सतर्क रहिए.
Looking for attractive savings options? LIC presents Nav Jeevan Shri Single Premium Plan. Deposit lump sum premium amount. Enjoy life insurance cover. Get guaranteed fixed amount on maturity. Liquidity options also available. Buy now. Attractive rebates for existing policyholders. Terms and conditions apply.
Same, but how does yours give so much more mileage? Petrol at GeoBP with international active technology increases mileage up to 100 kilometers per year at no extra cost. Same.
What do the new trade deal mean for India? A fresh round of global agreements signals India's bold yet high-stakes move to enter the big league of trading nations. In this issue, India today examines the opportunities, the risks, and what this opening could mean for India's economic future, including an exclusive interview with Piyush Goyal. Read it in the
And we bring you these visuals of the bilateral meet that's beginning at Mumbai as the President of France, Emmanuel Macron, meets with the Prime Minister Narendra Modi. These visuals that you see right now are when Prime Minister Modi welcomed the President to India. This is an important meeting between the two nations and between the two leaders. We bring you visuals of the photo opportunity right now on your screens as the two leaders shook hands in front of the media, and after that they met up for the bilateral. We will be bringing you live visuals of that as well as the two leaders meet in Mumbai to discuss many important issues. Also talk about how to build strategic ties, how to deepen them further. The two friends, the leaders who you see on the screen, share an extremely warm relationship. We have seen Prime Minister Modi and Emmanuel Macron meet multiple times. Emmanuel Macron has been in our country many times before, but this is his first visit to Mumbai. And these visuals that you're seeing right now are from that meeting that is set to happen. It's begun there. The two leaders, along with their team, are meeting up to discuss many important issues as they sit down to delve on things that are on agenda on the table, not just strategic ties, but many defense deals. Remember that all-important Rafale deal, that is also set to get a boost here as the two nations talk about it. It is important for India as it includes technology transfer from Dassault to India and Indian private firms, as India engages in enlarging its Made in India campaign and its manufacturing business. So important there, as you see the French president sitting down with Prime Minister Modi for that bilateral meet where the two nations are expected to talk about various important issues ranging from defense to even climate action, critical minerals, many things that are important in the modern times, in the current scenario. And joining us now is India Today Global's Pranay Upadhyay. Pranay, now we are getting the visuals of the meet as well, where the two leaders are sitting down along with their teams. Big delegation from both sides. We will expect to see individuals talking to each other in different fields. So do tell us, the delegation that's come from France, how is it specialized in various fields, and what is the talk or what is the discussion that will happen between the two delegations?
You know, as you can make out from these visuals, that the key official, the senior official from the government of India, including the National Security Advisor, the Foreign Secretary, I can see India's ambassador to Paris, Sanjeev Shringla, India's MES Joint Secretary taking care of the West Europe division. They all are there. Similarly, on the other side, if you see the French delegation, the key stakeholders of the French presidency are there for the delegation level talks. Besides that, a large business delegation is also accompanying President Emmanuel Macron in this visit. And we have seen that, if you see the list of engagement of our French President Emmanuel Macron, besides his morning run, he's holding key meetings even with the Bollywood. France is looking at a possibility of having more and extending more opportunity for Bollywood to have more shoots in France and explore exotic locations of France for the film shooting. because this can be a big economy booster for France, and therefore President Emmanuel Macron and First Lady had a lunch with the key stars and key figures from Bollywood. Besides that, in this meeting and after this meeting, Prime Minister Narendra Modi and President Emmanuel Macron are likely to take forward the relationship and review the partnership, especially the agenda which was agreed, Horizon 2047, how to align the policy, how to build upon the key deliverables in terms of defense, strategic partnership, key technological cooperation, innovation, startup ecosystem, the investment, the digital private infrastructure, cyber security, and counter-terrorism. So there are many areas besides culture, education, because at a time when Indian students are facing a lot of challenges and difficulties in America and other parts of the globe, France is trying to attract Indian students in big numbers, and French universities have shown keen interest in extending courses to Indian students. So there are many aspects, because many European nations are looking at India as a potential supplier of key human resource. India is a human resource rich country, and India is also looking at a possibility for ensuring the job opportunities and preparing its human resource, Indian youth, for exploring the global opportunities which are available in European markets, especially in an economy like France. So there is a win-win partnership. Both these leaders will be reviewing those aspects of the India-France partnership, and besides that, the key deliverables in terms of defense partnership, how the defense industrial complex of India and France can collaborate together and take forward the future projects, be it in artificial intelligence, be it the quantum computing, be it the clean technology, or even in the sector of the automobile. How Indian companies and French companies can collaborate in terms of the designing, in terms of the delivery of key platforms, be it the naval platforms, be it the other aspects of the partnership. So there are many aspects, there are many areas where India and France are collaborating. And let me also add, Anjali, here that not only Prime Minister Modi and President Emmanuel Macron are holding these discussions. Parallelly, there is a high-level, delegation level talks which is underway, in Bangalore as well, where both India and French defense minister will be holding a defense dialogue between these two countries. And after that, in the evening, there will be a separate joint statement between India and France as far as the defense collaboration is concerned. So that is also be a very key area to be we should be looking forward for that. What are the key outcomes coming up from Bangalore as well after the delegation level talks between India and France, especially on the defense sector.
Also joining us is Shivani Sharma. Shivani, if we talk of defense, as Pranay was pointing out, there is a parallel discussion also happening. But we do know, in terms of India's defense arsenal, France has been one of the biggest suppliers. So how important is this meeting, and how can India look to expand its arsenal with France's cooperation?
Anjali, remember just last week, India's Defence Acquisition Council has given an approval for the 114 Rafale deal, and there was a mention of Rafales in that statement that came from the Ministry of Defence. That means when Emmanuel Macron, the President of France, is here and he's meeting Prime Minister Narendra Modi, there is discussion that goes around not only on the strategic partnership, AI, but also defence. And we must tell our viewers that with these upcoming deals, France will be the second biggest country with which India shares its defence partnership. The amount of exchange of weapon systems, the deal that is going to happen, it will be massive. And this is not only about the Rafales, but also about the Hammer missiles, for which also discussions are to be open. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh is already meeting the Defence Minister of France in Bangalore. So two parallel high-level meetings are going on, Anjali, and we are expecting exchange of MOUs at around 4:30 after the meeting with the Prime Minister and President happens in Mumbai. And later there will be a press statement first in Mumbai, and then there will be a joint statement where we expect a mention of all the defense partnership and upcoming deals and discussions on which India and France are moving ahead with. So certainly this is very important in terms of strategy, in terms of defense, in terms of the Rafales, the biggest ever deal that would be starting soon for discussions after the approvals of the DAC, because Indian Air Force is looking for these advanced fighter jets, and we already have 2 squadrons of them. Rafale Marine for Navy is already signed. The contract is signed. We are waiting for those Rafale Marines, and there is discussion for more such Rafale Marines too. So a lot is happening, Anjali, on the defense side when it comes to the partnership with France. And the meeting of Emmanuel Macron and Prime Minister Narendra Modi is indeed very important, especially in terms of how India is taking the partnership ahead, not only strategically, economically, but also AI summit is on. We know that after today's meeting, tomorrow Emmanuel Macron will be in Delhi, where he'll be participating in the AI summit. So a lot is happening on multiple spheres with France, but yes, defense happens to be one of the focus points of this meeting today.
Right. Thank you, Shivani, for those details that you're bringing about the defense deals. And thank you very much, Pranay. But do stay on with us as we dip into another breaking news that's coming in. News from Bangladesh. Tariq Rahman has taken oath as Bangladesh Prime Minister after winning the polls. BNP leader Tariq Rahman has taken the oath. You see the visuals on your screen right now. 13 cabinet ministers, including the BNP second-in-command, Mirza Fakhrul Alamgir, took oath after Tariq Rahman. And Yunus Aid is likely to become Tariq Rahman's foreign minister. It is expected that Tariq Rahman will be inducting Dr. Khalilur Rahman in his cabinet. Rahman was serving as the National Security Advisor to the interim government under Mohammad Yunus. Joining us now is India Today's Pranay Upadhyay. Pranay, do tell us what we know about the formation of the cabinet.
As per the standard or the set procedure, processes in Bangladesh, Tariq Rahman, after his swearing in, he's going to form the new cabinet and is going to head the new cabinet. Some senior ministers, like our swearing in ceremonies, there's cabinet ministers, the Minister of State and deputy ministers will take oath. And this is a new beginning in Bangladesh. After the 13th general election, Tariq Rahman has taken over and now he is sworn in as the new Prime Minister of Bangladesh. And a lot of hope in Bangladesh with the new Tariq era, where he has already indicated that he is for the process of reconciliation. He had meeting with the Jamaat-e-Islami Amir Shafiqur Rahman. He had a meeting with Nahid Islam, the NCP, the student leader who have formed a party and contested this election, though they could not secure a big number of seats, but they will be sitting in the opposition. And in fact, this swearing-in ceremony has presence from various other countries as well. India's Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla, along with India's Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri, are there in Dhaka to represent the government of India and people of India during this swearing-in ceremony. But clearly, as Tariq Rahman has indicated that he wants friendly relation with India. Now the test for Tariq Rahman and his intent begins now. He has to balance the relationship. Bangladesh shares its largest and longest border with India.
Right. Also joining us now is India Today's Indrajit Kundu. Indrajit, you were there before the polls, and if you could give us an idea about this cabinet, how shall we read it? How India-friendly or not is it?
Well, there's a big surprise, Anjali, for India right now, because Dr. Khalilur Rahman, who was a national security advisor in the interim government just a few days back, led by Mohammad Yunus, till yesterday, in fact, officially, he has been inducted in this new cabinet. And what we are learning from our sources is that the foreign ministry portfolio, which India has is keenly observing, that could go to Dr. Khalilur Rahman. Dr. Khalilur Rahman, of course, is somebody who used to live abroad. He's a technocrat. He has been brought under that quota into this ministry. He did not fight this election, but in Bangladesh, you do have a quota in which you can bring in people from other walks of life who are well-renowned and well-known. So the BNP seemed to have nominated Dr. Khalilur Rahman to the cabinet. He has just taken oath, and Dr. Khalilur Rahman was, the national security advisor when Muhammad Yunus was the chief of the interim government. So Yunus gave an address to the nation last night where he bid adieu. And today afternoon, just a short while back, we got this big surprise. Since morning, there was a lot of buzz as to who is going to be the foreign minister. There were names like Humayun Kabir, who used to be the foreign advisor to Tariq Rahman in the BNP. There were other names that were doing the rounds, and this has come in as a huge surprise. Muhammad Yunus's, key aide, somebody who worked with Muhammad Yunus in the past 1.5 years as a national security advisor in the interim government. He has been sworn in as a cabinet minister under Tariq Rahman in this new government. So in all likelihood, he will be getting the portfolio of the foreign ministry, and that would be very, very consequential. In fact, last year, November, he was in Delhi and he held very crucial meetings, Dr. Khalilur Rahman, as the National Security Advisor of Bangladesh with the NSA of India, Ajit Doval. And there was a very, very significant and important meeting that took place in New Delhi. So at this point in time, this comes as a huge development. Dr. Khalilur Rahman, who was the National Security Advisor for Bangladesh in the interim administration of Muhammad Yunus, has now been inducted in the cabinet of Tariq Rahman. And in all possibility, he would be becoming the next foreign minister of Bangladesh. Anjali.
Right, thank you, Indrajit. So very interesting there, a career diplomat and economist who served as a national security advisor is now going to be the foreign affairs minister of Bangladesh. And moving on to some news from Delhi, a speeding Scorpio driven by a minor in the national capital has killed a youth with a billion dreams. The road accident took place in Delhi's Dwarka earlier this month. It killed Sahil Dhanishra, who was survived by a single mother in Amakan. The deceased mother is pleading for justice for her only son. Now, the accident took place when a Scorpio being driven by a teenager who's 17 years old, who did not even have a valid driver's license, crashed into a motorcycle and then rammed into a parked taxi. Now, the victim's mother has claimed that the Scorpio was speeding and making reels while performing stunts on roads. The deceased mother also claims that the SUV driver did not even stop after the crash. She has added that there were attempts to distort facts and the teen is a habitual offender. Victim's mother also shared the Instagram reel of the crash with India Today, which was apparently posted by the accused sister. In the video, the SUV can be seen on the single road, and while the deceased Sahil can be seen entering from the wrong side in an attempt to overtake a bus. Speaking to India Today, the minor driver's father described the incident as a naive mistake by his son. He also rejected Sahil's mother's allegations that his family had intimidated her. Emphasizing his empathy, he said that as a father himself, he understands and shares the pain Sahil's mother is going through. And we have some news coming in related to this incident. It seems that the accused, the minor driver's birth certificate, is now accessed exclusively by India Today. His birth certificate is now with India Today, and it clearly shows that the accused is 17 years old. That is what has been claimed by his father also. Remember, in the FIR that was initially registered, he was said to be 19 years old. But now, according to the certificate, the accused was born on August 2009, making him 17 years old. Now, the Delhi police has given a reaction because the accused was initially said to be 19 years old, but the documents after the verification are suggesting that he's 17 years old. But there is a chorus for justice for Sahil, and it's growing louder as his mother and his friends are continuously asking for justice.
जो ऑफेंडिंग व्हीकल था उसमें 2 लोग थे, एक सिस्टर थी और एक उसका भाई था। उनसे इनिशियल पूछताछ में, इन्वेस्टिगेशन में उन्होंने अपनी एज 19 ईयर बताई थी, जो कि जैसे ही डॉक्यूमेंट्स वेरीफाई किए गए तो उसकी एज 17 साल कुछ महीने थी। केस रजिस्ट्रेशन के बाद उसको जुवेनाइल जस्टिस बोर्ड में प्रोड्यूस किया गया। जुवेनाइल जस्टिस बोर्ड ने जो जुवेनाइल है उसको 10 तारीख तक तो ऑब्जर्वेशन होम में रखा। आफ्टर दैट एग्जामिनेशन के चलते उसको अंतरिम रिलीफ मिला हुआ है। जो फादर है, जो ऑफेंडिंग व्हीकल का ओनर है, उसके खिलाफ भी हमने उसको बाउंड डाउन किया है और मोटर व्हीकल एक्ट के तहत उसको हम चार्जशीट भी करेंगे।
Some time ago, India Today even spoke to the father of the accused, the minor boy who was driving the vehicle, and he said that his son is a minor. He is 17 years old, and that's when he provided the birth certificate of the boy. Joining us live from Dwarka is India Today's Anshul Singh. Anshul, now that the birth certificate is there and it says that he's 17 years old, how is the action going to proceed? Because it clearly changes the scenario. A 19-year-old faces a different kind of law. A 17-year-old faces different situation.
Well, that's very true. If the accused would have been above the age of 18 and if he would had a valid driving license, then also after the incident had happened, he could have easily gotten a bail. In some cases, the bail is granted from the police station itself, whereas in some cases the bail is granted from the side of the court, because this is a case of accident and not intentionally attempting to kill someone. But in this case, since the accused is now a juvenile, and that is something that has been proved with evidences by the family in front of the Dwarka police as well, it means that the Dwarka police has no right absolutely to go ahead and arrest the juvenile in any way or any manner. The maximum that they could have done is to bound him down and then produce him in front of the Juvenile Justice Board, and that is something that was done by the Dwarka police. And in fact, the accused juvenile remained behind the bars or remained in custody of the Justice Board for at least 7 to 8 days before the family moved for bail, asking that since the board exams of the accused are supposed to start, and hence he should be granted an interim bail at this point, and hence an interim bail of a few days have been granted to the said accused. However, it is very important to note that the laws of the land are such that the hands of the police or any agency for that matter who looks into such cases are actually tied. So according to the section 199 of the Motor Vehicle Act as well, if a juvenile is driving a vehicle, then action would be taken against the father or the parents of such a juvenile. In this case, the father was also taken into custody. The father was taken into custody for more than 24 hours. He was kept in detention by the police, and then eventually he was allowed to let go, because yet again this is something that is mandated by the law. The law does not say that the father should be arrested per se, but he should only be constrained, and then eventually if the police deems it necessary that he is cooperating, they can be allowed to let go, and that is something that was done by the Dwarka police in this case as well. So the law does not mandate an immediate arrest or some sort of an punitive action that could be taken, and that is something that was followed in word by the Delhi police. Whereas the parents, we just heard the father of the accused also speaking to us, and he also very clearly states that the entire family is in a lot of trauma that has happened to the ailing mother. That is something that cannot be repented, or that cannot be reduced in any way or any form. But he claims that he has also been receiving a lot of threats, a lot of calls from unknown numbers in which people are abusing him. The people are contacting his family, they are also abusing him. The numbers are out on social media freely.
Right.
People are posting random things about them, and that is something that is affecting the entire family in a very adverse way. So once the investigation gets completed,
Right.
we'll get to know that who is at actual fault over here, because we have seen in that video as well that has been accessed out here at India Today. That video also clearly shows that the vehicle, that the bike of the victim came from front, which was right behind a school bus, and suddenly this accident happened. So who was at fault? Who was driving at a greater pace? Who cut the lines? This is something that will be investigated in detail and then eventually be submitted in the courts by the Delhi police in the next few days itself.
Right. Thank you, Anshul, for those details. So there are many layers to an accident that happens like this. It's not just about the fault, but also what we are learning from this. So let's try and listen to what exactly the families of both the victim and the accused are saying.
ये बहुत ज्यादा दुखदाई था मेरे को। मैं अपने कोई भी माँ कभी जीवन में अपने बच्चे को ऐसे ना देखे, कोई दुश्मन भी ना देखे। The way I saw my child and the way I have kept him entire my life.
We are India today. We are extremely sorry with the ordeal that you've gone through. But I have to take my question.
That was shocking. I'm not able to forget the way he was. He was on the road. Oh my God, in such bad shape. That is terrifying. Terrible. That was horrible. That was horrible.
And now after that, the police, they arrested him. Then there was a change in his age. You raised certain kind of a suspicion.
Police has given me the reason that next day documents were justified. They have done their own verification from MCD certificate and Aadhaar. I don't know. I have not seen anything yet. I'm still waiting because police is busy with the AI summit and all. So no one is available. So
they were making reels, you were saying.
Actually they were making fun reels. ये लोग fun reels बनाने के लिए रोड पे गाड़ी लेके निकले थे। वो इंस्टीट्यूट एरिया है, वहाँ पे 20, 30, 40 से ज्यादा की स्पीड हो ही नहीं सकती किसी भी गाड़ी की। और ये वहाँ पे कितनी स्पीड में थे कि मेरे बच्चे को उड़ाने के बाद I have come to know from people जिन्होंने रील्स बनाई है, जिन्होंने वीडियोस रिकॉर्ड करी है, जो ऑन द स्पॉट पब्लिक ने इनको पकड़ा है। नाउ देयर आर अनदर थिंग्स कमिंग कि हमारी तो गाड़ी नहीं थी, हमारी तो गाड़ी नहीं है, वो चोरी की गाड़ी है और ऑल दिस ब्ला ब्ला ब्ला। उसका बाप जो है इस तरह की कुछ स्टेटमेंट दे रहा है कि हमारी तो वो गाड़ी ही नहीं है।
Also, for our viewers, we want to point that this is an unlicensed driver. The driver does not have a license to drive the car, and she's raised allegations. We have those copy of the challans, ma'am. 13 challans against that same.
Yes, हमने अभी 3-4 दिन पहले ही जिस दिन चलान हमने निकाले इसके, हमारे पास रिकॉर्ड आया, उसके अगले दिन ही सारे चलान जो हैं वो पेड ऑफ हो गए और ओनली टू वर पेंडिंग जो हमने अपना निकाला है। उसके बाद कल मैंने जो है इसके यूपी के भी चलान चेक करे हैं। यूपी में भी इसके बहुत सारे चलान हैं और सब ओवर स्पीडिंग और इन सब रैश ड्राइविंग के हैं।
So, ma'am, it's also a negligence by our system that for all these while this car had overspeeding challans, it was still running. No one was there to look. Do you realize?
Obviously, this is system also. This is system also. एक ही गाड़ी बार-बार एक ही क्राइम कर रही है, उसको कोई स्टॉप नहीं कर रहा है। क्यों? दूसरों के बच्चों के मरने का वेट कर रहे हैं। बाद में 2,000 रुपए लेके बेल दे देगी उनको। 1,000 रुपए, 2,000 रुपए, 4,000 रुपए, ये वैल्यू है हमारे बच्चों की। ये रिक्शे वाले भी इससे ज्यादा कमाते हैं। हम लोग इतना हार्ड एंड मनी पूरी जिंदगी अपने बच्चों को पालने में, उनको एक फ्यूचर देने में, उनको शेप करने में खत्म कर देते हैं माँ बाप। दिस इज द वैल्यू। सिस्टम की 2,000, 4,000 रुपए की वैल्यू है आज की तारीख में। इज़न्ट इट अ जोक? ये पैसे के दम पे इसका बाप इसको क्या लगता है? इसको क्या लगता है? पब्लिक छोड़ देगी इसको?
Also, the law in the country when it comes to hit and run
Why it is so? Why it is so? Why it is so? People don't trust our own country. People send their children abroad. They're not sure to have the future of their children. जिनके पास पैसा है सिर्फ वही अपने बच्चों के फ्यूचर के लिए कुछ देख सकते हैं। हमारे जैसे लोग कहाँ जाएंगे? This is system. Why this is so? Why this is so?
Ma'am, we are very sorry for the ordeal that you've gone through.
मेरा बच्चा कभी घर नहीं आएगा। मैं क्या करूं? 23 साल मैंने अकेले पाला उसको। वो कभी घर नहीं आएगा। मेरे पास क्या रीजन है अब घर आने का? बताओ, मेरे पास क्या रीजन है काम पे जाने का?
जो विक्टिम है उनकी माँ का ये कहना है कि उनके पास भी थ्रेट कॉल आ रहे हैं, उनको पैसे दे के बात छुलटाने की बात की जा रही है। इसमें कितनी सच्चाई है?
मेरे तरफ से कोई भी कॉल अगर गया हो, वो मेरे कॉल द्वारा हिस्ट्री उनके पास हो। मेरे पास तो खुद ही उनके तरफ से कॉल आ रहा, गाली भद्दी गाली आ रहा, जो मैं डाटा आपको दे सकता हूँ। काफ़ी लोग गाली दे रहे हैं, जो मैं आपको माँ बहन पूरी रात कॉल बजा है। हमने दोनों बंद कर दिए फ़ोन। हमने किससे हमने क्या बताऊँ। पूरे फैमिली, मेरा बच्चा भी मेरा 10वीं का एग्ज़ाम है, डिप्रेशन में चला गया। मुझे नहीं लग रहा जो क्या कर पाएगा क्या नहीं कर पाएगा। उस माँ के लिए भी मुझे दर्द है, मैं बिल्कुल समझ सकता हूँ। मुझे कोई इसमें नहीं है जो वो माँ है, मुझे अब उस दर्द को मैं कैसे बयां करूँ आपके सामने। पूरे फैमिली हम लोग बहुत ज़्यादा बहुत दिल से इस घटना के लिए मतलब बयां कर रहे हैं। शर्मिंदा है जो हुआ। मैं अपने बच्चे को भी और उनका भी बच्चे के लिए भी, मेरे तरफ से कोई फ़ोन अगर उनको गया हो, गलत फ़ोन गया तो दिखा सकती है।
आ रहा है सामने कि बच्चे की जो उम्र है वो पहले एफआईआर में 19 साल लिखी गई और उसके बाद फिर पुलिस कह रही है कि 17 साल है। तो एग्जैक्ट उम्र क्या है, कब पैदा हुआ था और क्या जुवेनाइल है या 18 से बड़ा है आपका लड़का?
बच्चा का डेट ऑफ बर्थ जो है 2/8/2009 का है। मौके पे मुखबरी में कोई बोले बड़ा थोड़ा उसका हेल्दी शरीर है, इसके कारण से पब्लिक कोई गाली दे के बोल रहा था 19 का है 20 का है, मगर मेरा बच्चा का जो जेन्युइन डेट ऑफ बर्थ है।
ये डॉक्यूमेंट है, अगर ये डॉक्यूमेंट आप दिखा दें। I'll ask my camera person to get a bit close and just to show the birth certificate. हाँ सर।
2/8/2009 का डेट ऑफ बर्थ है इसका, जो MCD से सर्टिफिकेट मिलता है और सारे डॉक्यूमेंटेशन पुलिस के पास जो कानूनी प्रक्रिया है हमने उस पुलिस को रिसीव भी कराया है।
So you heard two sides of that story. The mother of the victim clearly demanding justice and saying that she's being intimidated by the family of the accused, whereas the accused family, his father is saying he's a minor and they have not tried to intimidate anyone. In fact, he's claiming that he's the one who's getting calls from random numbers, and this is what is coming to fore. And now news coming in of another hit-and-run shocker that is now coming to light. This is a horrific incident that is coming from Rajasthan's Jaipur. A Scorpio has rammed into two young men who were riding on a scooter late last night. We're bringing you the CCTV visuals of that incident that happened last night. The accident occurred at around 11:50 p.m. on Monday. According to reports, the two young men were leaving their homes on their scooters to go out to eat. Traffic was normal when a Scorpio coming from behind at high speed struck the scooter. Joining us right now is India Today's Devankur. Do tell us what happened in this incident and what is the situation of the police investigation?
Visuals are quite horrific. It shows how a Scorpio vehicle hit a scooty from behind, and two of the personal people who were there, who were scooty born, were killed at the spot itself. Virendra is one of the persons who died, and along with that person, there was another person who was on the scooty who got hit by the Scorpio vehicle. Both of them died at the spot itself, and as per information, the CCTV footage of the Scorpio has emerged, which shows how terrible the accident was. The police is investigating the entire matter, trying to find out whether the Scorpio driver was in an inebriated state, and further investigations in this case are currently on. But this clearly shows how in the past as well, there have been several incidents of reckless driving.